Oh, I guess everybody heard that. This is Jim Howard and Jessica Howard with Trinity Security Allies, and tonight we're going to be talking about the importance of safety teams in today's fallen world. We've just had some recent events that I think that they need to be covered and they need to be looked at, but also I want to also look at this as in a biblical sense. And this is just one of the things that's near and dear to me. We understand that we are supposed to be expanding the kingdom of God, that we are ambassadors of Christ, and we are supposed to be getting out here and while we're doing the great commission of trying to bring people to Christ, we also have to make sure that we're protecting Christ. Now, if you don't have these, I mean, I share these all the time, but if you do not have these Bible verses right here, you need to copy these down or make a screenshot of this and take it to your pastors and your church leaders, because this really tells it as it is on why we should have a safety team in all churches, some sort of a plan, some sort of a team put together so that we can protect the flock. We use Ezekiel 33, 1 through 6. And of course, it talks about the watchmen, and that the watchmen, once they blow their trumpet for a warning, if people don't heed their warning, then the blood is on them. But if they heed the warning, then of course, that is what the watchman is out here for. But if a church doesn't do this, does not put watchmen on the wall, and something happens, that blood is really on the church for not doing some sort of thing to protect the church. We also use Nehemiah 4, 13 through 18. The biggest verse in here to me is 13, where it says, "Therefore I stationed some people behind the lowest points of the wall, at the exposed places, posting them by families." I think that's very important because the church is our family. And when we don't have safety teams protecting our families, then we're just leaving ourselves wide open. Nehemiah saw it, and when he was rebuilding the wall, he saw the need to put people together, and he put them with their swords, spears, and bows. He truly understood what God was saying to him, because he went to God asking God what to do when he found out that the locals were plotting to kill them. And of course, Isaiah 62:6. This is just one of those that's real simple. It's real easy to learn. It says, I have posted watchmen on your walls, Jerusalem. They will never be silent day or night. You who call on the Lord, give yourself no rest. We need to be all the time scouring and looking at things. And this is why we post stuff on our Trinity Security Allies Facebook page, our Church Safety Network page. We post things out there to advise you of things that we're seeing in the world that we need to be paying attention to. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we really just have to be aware that Satan is alive and well and working in this country and trying to split this country up. And one of the things he knows that he has to go against, and one of the things he knows he has to destroy, is the church. So we as Christians, and we as safety team members, and we as watchmen on the walls, we need to be prepared at all times, knowing what is going on in the country, what is happening in the country, and being ready for it in case it comes into our door. We also have Ephesians 6, 10 through 12, which of course is just finally be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's scheme. The devil is alive and well. I can't say this enough. And he is out here trying to hurt us. Now, when we were putting together the Google alerts and we were looking at some of the Google alerts this week, I came across a couple, and just came across one. And then also the faith-based security network that I belong to pointed out one that I think is something that we really need to take a look at and pay attention to what happens to these. And these are other reasons why training is very important. A Boston rabbi was stabbed outside his synagogue, and now the suspect is in custody. But when you start to read this, when you start to read what happened here, this is kind of very scary, because not only was the Boston rabbi stabbed, but let me back up. A person approached him with a gun. Now, the rabbi was in front of a Jewish day school, so there were children inside. He pointed the gun at the rabbi and told him he wanted his keys to his van. When he had the rabbi go over to the van and told the rabbi to get in. And at that point, he turned and ran. The rabbi ran. The person caught up with him. Not really for sure why he didn't shoot the rabbi, but he did stab him 8 times. Now, he is going to survive. He was on, you can go out and review this. You can go out and look at the video. He did make a statement, but the prosecutors here recently, just within the last day or so, has decided to charge the suspect with hate crimes. Now, one of the things that I just think we have to be always careful is we have to make sure that we're paying attention to our outside perimeter. And if you do have a school on your property, what type of safety do they have? This is one of the things that concerns me about our church. We have 2 schools right now. We're talking about putting some sort of safety out there because of situations just like what happened here in Boston. Another thing that we're looking at is surveillance video reveals tense moments leading up to a church caretaker being shot by suspect. The headline is a little misleading, but it is something of a gunshot was fired in Gold Run, California. Surveillance video has been released of an interrupted burglary that escalated to a caretaker being shot at the Gold Church last week. Now, here's where the training is very important. The caretaker saw the incident happening. This is a felony in progress, person. I mean, we need to understand that when there is a felony in progress, our best thing is to get under some sort of hide from some sort of concealment. And I know as men, we're going to walk up and talk to this guy. We're going to want to go up there and talk, just say, hey, listen, what are you doing? This is really something that just concerns me so much because that's exactly what this caretaker did. He walked up to him, took pictures of him. And when he did, that agitated the suspect. And instead of really just being behind the scenes somewhere, being in a room, being in a window, being someplace that you're not being seen, and also getting on the phone and dialing 911. I mean, I don't understand this. Do not, when a person is committing a felony right there in front of you, there is no telling what this person will do. Well, deputies say that the caretaker took a photo of the suspect with his cell phone, which enraged the suspect. Then the suspect came over and told the caretaker that he wanted his phone. The caretaker kind of argued with him. A shot was heard. The caretaker was hit. He was hit several times. He was hit in the face. He was hit across the head with the weapon. He is okay. But here's the thing. Listen to this very carefully. The suspect, John Warninger, also had a warrant for his arrest for homicide charge out of San Bernardino County. The incident happened 3 days before the Gold Rush shootings, deputies say. Think about this again. Listen very carefully. You do not know who you're dealing with if somebody is breaking into your church. We saw it not too long ago where a pastor was killed by confronting a person that had broken into their church. Instead of retreating, getting out of there, getting out of the way, getting back some, and seeing if maybe, like I said, he becomes a pastor and wants to help the guy instead of pulling his weapon and then losing the weapon, the suspect taking it from him and then shooting him. So these are things that we really need to be making sure that we're telling people when a crime is happening in front of you. Your best bet is to call 911, especially you're not armed. I worry about challenging these people. This person had a gun also. You challenge the person. We saw it in the West Freeway Church of Christ shooting, where once a person with a weapon presented it to one of the safety team members, he still tried to go for his weapon. And to me, that's what he escalated it, and that's what ended up getting him killed. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about is something that I guess I want to say this, and I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. A knife wielding man disrupts mass at a Cathedral of Church, the Light. Cathedral of Christ, the Light in Oakland. I want to say this. I read this article on this, and it just kind of like, it disturbed me on a couple of different things. First off, the church says security was trying to keep the man out, but he got in through an open door and started yelling profanities at the clergy. Now, he did have a knife on him, but I'm not really for sure where the knife was or when he started threatening people with it, because the thing of it, in the video, there is video out there, we don't really see the knife in the man's hand. In fact, we do see his hands because he uses the one finger salute to everybody that's inside there. He continues to disrupt the church. Safety team members did what we talk about. They did kind of the herding. They herded him out of the church. I kind of wonder about the, trying to keep the man out, but he got inside through an open door. Where was the open door? Was it a door that should have been locked? We talk about this all the time. You should have your controlled entries to where you see people coming in, know that they're coming in. Not really for sure what got it started, but he got into the church and they disrupted the mass. Now, here's the thing that bothers me the most, and this is why you have to have safety teams. I'm glad to see that this church, this Catholic church, said that security was trying to keep the man out. It sounds like they did have a security team. I would like to know their training and stuff like that to understand exactly what happened there. I'd like to know more about it. But the Catholic Church is just known for not wanting to attend. I mean, we have members of the Catholic Church attend our training, but it's very rare that we go into a Catholic church and do training about church safety. Like I said, members also all the time are coming to our training at different locations, but they never really follow up on training for the Catholic Church itself. This kind of is starting to look like a pattern where we see places where Catholic churches are not setting up safety teams. We seem to have more attacks on the Catholic Church than we really do any other church. That doesn't mean that you won't have an attack on another church. West Freeway Church of Christ, Sutherland Springs, Antioch, all these churches were not Catholic churches. The one where Carl Chin went to in Colorado, all these churches were non-denominational, Baptist. It doesn't really matter the church, but it just seems to be that we see a lot more attacks on Catholic churches than we're seeing on other churches. Not really for sure what that reason is. Have no clue, but I do know that a lot of Catholic churches do not want to set up safety teams. They get cut off. They're not allowed to have us come in a different training like that. Now, here's the thing that disturbs me the most, and this is one of the reasons why I say that you do have to have some sort of safety team and training. The church, the Cathedral of Christ, the Light, called 911 and no one showed up. Now, Oakland is having a lot of problems right now with their police department and the city wanting to defund the police department and the police department being stressed. The chief of police came out and said that he is concerned about these type of situations not being handled the right way. 911 was called and no one showed up. So understand the backup, your cavalry that's coming to your church when these type of things are happening could be minutes. I mean, a lot of minutes away or not even show up. We had a situation that happened here that in Pasco County where the church contacted law enforcement. The deputy did show up on property. We do know that now, but the thing of it is he did not get out of his vehicle and check on the church. The church went into a lockdown. Everybody was inside. The guy drove through the lot. He didn't see, the deputy drove through the lot. He didn't see anybody. And then he left the area. This is a training issue that we have to make sure that even our law enforcement know that if we make a phone call and dispatch tells you to lock down, or you tell dispatch that you're locking down, they need to come up to the door and check on the door. When we have bank robberies or alarms that go off, people sometimes don't come outside. I mean, we sometimes have to go to the bank. We try to get them to come outside, but sometimes we can't get them to. You need to do the same thing as far as the church. You've got a lockdown. You need to have an officer go to the door and knock on the door and make sure that everything is all right inside. Now, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to turn this over to Jessica and let Jessica talk about some current events that we're following right now. Jessica.
So one of the things that has made the news recently is that there was just a law passed. This has been going on for a while, but it finally got signed by the governor, and so it is now a law. But basically what that was is that churches that had schools on their property were not allowed to carry, but the law that just passed will allow them to carry. So that was just news. That was a big deal for some churches that had schools that weren't able to carry if they wanted to for their safety team.
Jessica, I'm going to jump in here just for a sec. That said in that law that churches that rent property from schools can also arm themselves and protect themselves.
Yeah, so that was just a big deal that got passed because we had been watching that for a while. Next, we posted this on the Facebook and we also sent it out in an email. But the Department of Homeland Security sent out an alert last week, and basically the alert warned that as COVID restrictions start to wane a little bit, and as more places are open, there's a concern to see more violence in mass gatherings. There was a big concern over the 4th of July weekend. But the alert really goes out over the summer just as people are out of school or returning to large gatherings. They put out a warning that there might be increased violence. So just be staying vigilant, especially as more and more places start to open or as churches come back. And just a reminder to just be on yellow alert. There was also in the news that a UN panel asked the Vatican to violate seal of confession in cases with sexual abuse. We wanted to put this out there. There isn't a lot on the story yet. It kind of just happened, but basically, there was a panel of human rights activists at the UN that want to ask the Vatican to get rid of the seal of confession where sexual abuse is involved. If you've been following with us, we've talked a lot about just sexual offenders in churches. And so they want to do this as a way to hopefully get more people aware of what's going on. And if somebody confesses to a sexual assault, that they would be able to report it. But that is in the UN. So it's a little odd that it's going to the UN, but we're just going to keep everybody updated on that and where that goes. Churches in Canada are being burned. They're not just being set on fire, they're being burned to the ground. And it's happening a lot in Canada. We've seen it a couple times here in the US, but it's really spreading in Canada because of the controversy there. So just as a reminder to just be aware of what's going on in case it does start to travel over to the United States. And lastly, just we wanted to put something out that we are continuing to see a rise in vandalism. If you have any statues, any signs at your church, just maybe put in cameras or be aware of the fact that there's a potential for vandalism, especially if your congregation has political stickers of either side on their cars, or even having an American flag is somehow controversial now. So just keep an eye out for that and be aware if you have anything that people might want to vandalize. And that's really all that we have right now.
I'm just going to throw in one more thing, and it has not bled into the churches or anything like that. But if you've been paying attention to the news, the teachers union has come up and said that they would represent, I mean, they've come out on a full court press on trying to get it to where they teach critical race theory in schools. Now, in the state of Florida, it's not allowed. Governor DeSantis put in an executive order that said that critical race theory would not be taught in our schools. But the teacher union now is stating that they will protect anybody that wants to teach the real history of the United States. And of course, this falls back into the critical race theory. One of the things that we really have to understand about critical race theory and their teachings of it is that they say that the church really is the religious foundation basically is a cover up for white racism or white superiority. And that's just something that's very disturbing. We're keeping a close eye on this. We're watching on this. I will say something else. This just came out today. I was listening to the radio. I was listening to Jay Sekulow, and it appears that the IRS now has started to do their stuff that they were doing under the Obama administration, of where if you're a 501c3, a religious 501c3, or you make a donation to a church or a religious 501 a charity, that they are starting to audit people again, looking at their taxes, and also talking about wanting to know what type of person, what type of religion you are, what your church teaches, and all these different things like that. There's keywords that they're looking for right now, and all of them are Christian charities. So pay attention. I'm going to get more information on this. We'll be talking about this real soon, but this is something that we need to be paying attention to. That's coming down from the state, the capital, Washington D.C. I should say. So it's just something that we as churches need to be prepared for, and we need to be paying attention to. Jay Sekulow and their group is probably going to start a class action suit against the IRS again, like they did the last time when they went against 501c3s that were conservative, and we're going to see what's happening on that. But we want to keep you advised of everything that's going on out here. Our guys are still in the area. In fact, Jessica, I'll let you talk about it.
So posted on their Facebook page actually today was a 15-minute video where Vasquez and his cameraman went, actually, this is the first time I've seen them go inside of a school. They went inside of UCF, right outside of Orlando, and they went inside a classroom during class time, and they stood up there for 13 minutes before campus security was able to get them out of the classroom. So they're getting a little bit more bold in what they're doing. And as of about an hour ago, the Facebook page posted that Vasquez is in Orange County Jail for trespassing on the UCF campus. But as he says in the video, he's been arrested 4 times, so he will probably be out again soon. So he's in Orlando right now, and I am not sure where he's going next, just because we were trying to find out where he was now. But I'll get that out in the email, and I'll let everybody know kind of if he gets out of jail or where he's heading after he gets out.
I wanted to play the video again so you would see it. Here it is.
Try and share your sound, Doug.
I would if I hadn't already started this. And as we always say, don't walk these people through your congregation. Find a side door and take them out the side door. All right, so he stayed in the area. He's still out here. So Polk County, be watching for him. All right. Anybody got any questions on some of the stuff that we talked about? It's short and sweet, but we needed to get it out here. We just have to be prepared. And if you and your team has not practiced in a while, please get up with us and let's do some training. We're going to be doing some training here real soon, but it's just one of these things. If you have not, I have churches out here that I swear they don't even talk to their safety team members. And I know that we're at fault here at Generations also. We're going to start doing more training because we just see things that are happening more and more at our church that we have to be aware of. And we need to make sure that we understand how to respond to it. So I'm going to start going through, like I said, I want to respect your time, and we're going to go through some things. I got some announcements to make, some great stuff to talk about, but members only Thursday, July 15th. Jessica, I hope you checked my date on that. But Thursday, July the 15th is a members only Zoom call. I did not know how these were going to go, but the members that come out on these Zoom calls have got questions, statements, things that are happening in their church. It always goes a whole lot better than I really thought they would, because we start sharing information, and it's just team members getting together and talking about issues that they're seeing at their churches and things that we're still seeing and things that we're putting out. But I cannot get over how these members meetings are happening. So you need to come out on these Thursday meetings. Now we're going to talk about membership in a second. We're going to be in Antioch Christian Church. We're going to be up in Marion, Iowa. I will be. And Jessica's going to be there with me. But this is Saturday, July the 31st. And we do have members of our church safety network up in Marion, Iowa. So we're going to be talking about a new study that we're doing, a new training that we're doing. That's going to be called Mental Health in the Church. We're seeing more and more mental health issues that are going on out there. And so we're wanting to start talking about it and kind of get you ready for it, because you could have a mentally handicapped person that comes into your church. And what do you do when they do? And I'm not talking about somebody that is a threat, but could possibly be a threat. What do you do? What are the actions that you take when these people come in? We have had this situation happen. They're disruptive at times. and we have to deal with those things. But how do you deal with it? Do you tell this person they cannot come back to your church anymore? We'll talk about these things in this training here real soon. This is going to be some. I'm doing a class on this to get certified in the mental health portion to kind of have ways being a mental health counselor, just to give you more information on how to deal with mental health when it walks into your church door. But we will be up in Marion, Iowa. This is Saturday, July 23rd. It's kind of a book signing and a little bit of training that we want to talk about. We're going to kick this off up there, and then we'll be bringing it back home. We have a what if church safety training. This is one of our new trainings that we've been doing. It's very successful. We've had some good responses from it. We're going to be doing this at Vine Life Christian Church in Brooksville, Florida at 375 South Brooksville Street. This is on Saturday, August the 7th, 2021. We need to change that. That's a year old. At 9 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. Register at trinitysecurityallies.com. But this is just some training that we've really been happy with. All right. Got some incredible news on this. Incredible news. Save the date, Saturday, October the 16th, 2021, from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. We are having our 5th annual Church Safety and Liability Conference. We have lined up Frank Pomeroy, the pastor from Sutherland Springs. He and his wife are coming down to talk about how to recover after an incident like this happens. The Sutherland Springs shooting where 26 people were killed, 20 were wounded. Frank and his wife happened to be out of town during the week that happened, the weekend that happened, but they lost their daughter that weekend. They're going to come down and it's going to be a powerful, powerful testimony of just how they have gotten stronger. I had an opportunity to meet him when we were in Texas. I was really impressed with Frank. It was just something that just the man has so much strength and faith in God. It was unbelievable. And I'm really excited that he's going to be at our conference this year. He and his wife are coming, and we're really excited about it. So you need to go out there and register now and get your people to this. It is right now, I want to say the price is, I want to say $45. It may be $55. We're going up every month, but if you are not a member, do not have a membership, hang on one second. I got some good news. But save the date, October the 16th at Generations Christian Church. We're really excited about this. We're going to have a lot of other information out there, general liability policies, procedures on human trafficking, legal liability, children's safety. All this stuff is going to be out there. We're going to be doing this on Saturday, October the 16th. Going to push this again and again and again, USCCA. And I just want to let y'all know something. USCCA changed their we were not really a reseller of theirs, but they really treated us well of people that signed up under our name. It doesn't work that way anymore. They had to change their policies, and it's fine with us because this is something that is very necessary to protect yourself and your family. So where in the past we were an affiliate of theirs, we're kind of an affiliate, but in a different way. But it doesn't really matter to me. You need to be protected, and this is why we're going to always push USCCA as far as something that you really should have. It's insurance. You don't drive your car without insurance. You shouldn't be carrying your weapon without some sort of insurance. Please go out and check them out. Please go out and look at them. They will be speaking at the conference again. We're getting Ricky to come back. He had a powerful presentation the last time he was here, and he's going to be talking about more of where USCCA has gone today. Order the book. For a $20 donation, go to trinitysecurityallies.com, God's Unseen Plan. We're going to be doing book signings. We're looking for churches to do book signings. So if you know of a church, especially people that have read the book, please let us know. We'd love to come and do a book signing at your church. We do have these free resources out here. And just what we were talking about today, if you know of a church that talks to you that does not have a safety team in place, please tell them to go out and pull down these resources of developing a safety team, putting together a safety plan, carrying weapons in the church, and Sunday morning what to look for. Okay, online membership program. Sign up today. Now listen, sign up today to access our online church library training for just, hold on. Live online training that you can access at any time. Membership gives you a ticket to our annual church safety and liability conference. Also supports the ministry, but also allows you to get on when we have the members only Zoom calls. But for the month of July, Jessica, you want to talk about this?
Well, it's just until tomorrow. So till tomorrow, we're doing $10 off your monthly membership, and that'll be $10 off for however long, hopefully for forever, until you decide to forever while you have your membership. Sorry. But so the price will not go up on you. It'll stay like that. And so we're doing that until tomorrow. And if you go to our website and then hit membership and pricing, it'll be right there. And you can grab that for the next 20-ish hours.
Well, okay. I don't know. I think you could bat your eyes and maybe get it for a little longer. Come on. Let's be realistic. Let's get some members out here.
I am not the one that makes that call, but if you email Wendy at trinitysecurityallies.com, you might be able to get it extended.
Y'all send her those emails, those cards and letters now. Listen, the thing of it is, this does support us. It also supports Jessica, because for everyone that signs up, she gets a little bit of that for her school. So y'all are helping out a college student also. But we are putting more and more training stuff out there. I'm going to clean it up, but I'm going to put a full-blown threat profiling training out there that we did at another church. It was videotaped, and we're going to put it out there for your viewing. And you can share this with your team members. So get it out there. Get out there. Become a member. All right. We also, though, have the church membership, which is $125 a month or $1,200 a year, which includes the following: 2-hour training sessions or a full day of training, schedule phone call with us on safety concerns as needed, 5 tickets to the annual church safety and liability conference, discounted full strength and weakness assessment with recommendations detailing priorities in your houses of worship. And the safety team has full access to online libraries and monthly member call, monthly member only calls. If your church cannot afford a membership, consider a local business owner. We have a lot of business owners that have been sponsoring their church through the Centurion Club. Visit Trinity Security Allies or contact Wendy at trinitysecurityallies.com. I tried to do a True Christian Talk today, and it went south on me, and I don't know the reason why. It could be that Facebook has blocked us again. I don't know. I'm looking for it, but Facebook has changed their Facebook Live. When we do this True Christian Talk at Kevin's studio, he does a recording, uses another software package that puts it on Facebook, and he has a lot better equipment too. But we are going to be back next Thursday for sure. We've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things going on that Christians need to be aware of, because we don't want to be caught, but we don't want to be blindsided with what is happening out in the world today. So unless there's any questions.
I just wanted to say something really quick, Dad.
Sure.
So we are sending out a current events email every Sunday, and we sent out our first one last Sunday. And I just wanted to not only say that we're doing that in case you guys would be interested in getting it. We send out a lot of the stories that we heard about tonight. We're going to resend, and then we're also going to throw in some more news that we see. But also, if you see any current events, please send them to me at jessica@trinitysecurityallies.com, because a lot of the major events that we have talked about and that we've gotten recently have been from other people. For some reason, they're just not getting reported on like they should. And so if you see anything and you see that we haven't talked about it or posted about it, please send it to me, because I would rather see it twice than not see it at all. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that please be sending me emails. So yeah.
I just want to say this one more time. You really need to be saving the date for our October 5th, the conference. I'm just really excited that we're going to have Frank and his wife come in, share, and talk to us about what happened on that day. And it is just a powerful testimony. We talked about it. I got a lot of information from him the time that I was there, and heard more and more on his story, he and his wife's story. And we just really need, what I really would like you to do is to go to your churches and talk to your pastors and have them come to the conference this year so they can hear what happens, what you need to do, and how you recover from a terrible, tragic event like what happened to them in 2017. So if there's not anything else, I'm going to bid y'all good night. I want to thank you for coming out. Be safe out there, be blessed. And if there's anything we can do, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Have a good night.